Hello, happy Monday. Welcome to my winter wonderland. Happy Monday, happy solstice, happy first day of Yule, happy, just happy day. We have a lot of things to celebrate today. So hopefully your Monday was worth celebrating. If not, like I said, we have a lineup of things to celebrate um, or to just honor, I guess. But I'm Seville. Welcome to your Monday night practice tonight. And also welcome to our last live stream class of 2020. I'm super honored to be closing out the year with you guys. And we're just going to have a lot of fun. Um, if you've never practiced with me, I'll let you in on a little something about myself. I love a good theme. So we're going to be super silly, super themey, holiday-y with our practice tonight. But as always, you get to do what feels good for you. You get to take what you want, leave what you don't want. I'm Yoga Santa tonight. I'm offering you all sorts of presents called poses. And you get to decide which ones you want and which ones you don't. And I won't be offended at the ones you don't because I won't know, but that's okay. But before we get started, oh, what do I have over here? I have a book. You might be thinking, Seville, this is not story time. Well, welcome to my class. It is story time right now. So get cozy up, grab your beverage, because Yoga Mom Seville is about to read you a pre-yoga story. 'Twas the Monday before Christmas. All the yogis were masked, and everyone was wondering, how long will this last? The vaccines were coming very soon with care, in hopes that next year we won't be any more worse for wear. But dear yogis, let's not look at this year with dread. It's a year where we spent a lot more time in bed. Alas, Yoga Mom Mickey said there won't be any gaps. We'll still teach yoga and adult naps. When we took to YouTube, we made quite a clatter. The yogis were no more torn and tattered. Mickey's perfect puns were back in a flash. To our yoga mats, we made quite a mad dash. And Jamie came back strong with all the high fives. We may not be touching, but it gave us great vibes. When what to our wondering eyes did appear, Seville taught us to drop low and to twerk, all with yoga. Oh dear. To complete the lineup, Yulia's added to the mix. We knew in a moment that yoga's the fix to the hurt and the downright mundane. We laughed and we joked, taught the poses by name. Now table, now dancer, now twist and tree pose. On cat cow, on crescent, on warrior, on chair pose. To the top of the mat, to a forward fold, we'll halfway lift. This will never get old. With yoga and beer, we do what feels good. I love this community. I'd hug you if I could. But you came here to practice, not to hear me recite. So happy Christmas to all, and to all, a good night. Thanks for humoring me, guys. That's what I do in my spare time. I'm basically a poet laureate now. I'm going to submit it for a children's book, probably a movie. You got the first peek, so you're welcome. But all joking aside, let's get started with our class. We're going to get started on our backs. And if you are playlisting, go ahead and hit a cute little play on your playlist. And as we start to settle in here, option to have the knees bent or legs out long, hands can be resting on the body or to either side of the body, or you can be your favorite Christmas tree star and just like start your way. Whatever works best for you. And maybe the eyes are open or maybe they're closed. And start to fall into a nice rhythm of breathing. And all joking and silliness aside, I feel very honored to teach on the winter solstice, because for the solstice, we celebrate the rebirth of the sun. So today may be very dark and very Oregon-y, that it's been downpouring most of the day. But each day to come will be will be lighter and a little brighter. And so at the heart of my practice tonight, my offering for you tonight is to just focus on that. To honor and respect the darkness, but then to also welcome the light and know that things are going to be brighter and lighter. With every deep intentional breath that we take, every kind thought and action, we'll be staying here for a couple more breaths. So start to let that intention settle within the mind, the body, the practice. And if the knees are bent, it feels okay in the body, maybe you start to lengthen the legs out, bring the arms alongside the body. And I can't teach a holiday class without doing more floor snow angels. So if you love it right here, feel free to stay here. If I want to take a peek around, make sure you don't have your delicious beverage near your hands or your feet. And just start making really wonderful, intentional floor snow angels, floor angels, yoga angels, really. And just pairing the breath in the body. So maybe you fly your wings on your inhale and bring everything back on the exhale, or maybe vice versa. And if your yoga mat is anything like mine, it's very grippy. So I'm getting like a little resistance moment on my legs, a little extra firing up for my hips and my legs. And let's bend the knees, just bringing the feet onto the earth. We're going to inhale the hands up to the sky. Just taking a breath and a moment here. Maybe you roll the wrists out one way and maybe the other way. If it feels lovely to stay here, feel free to stay here. Or with your next breath, we're going to find that cactus shape in the arms as we lower the arms down toward the earth and then continue our snow angel arms down toward the sides of the body. Inhale the hands back up to the sky. Exhale, cactus the arms. And then lower the hands down toward the hips. Continue to follow this, following your breath, really taking your time and noticing that there might be cute little points in the body that feel a little stuck. It might feel like you were sitting at a computer all day. Maybe you just breathe through those little spots, giving a little extra love. And we'll meet with the hands reaching up to the sky. And let's flip it and reverse it. We're going to bring the hands down alongside the body and bring the arms up to that cactus shape. And this time we're going to bring the forearms toward each other and then lift the hands up toward the sky. We're going to use a lot of brain power for this, at least for me. Cactus arms, forearms press toward each other, and then fingers reach up and then down toward the hips. 2 more times. And one last time. We'll bring the hands alongside the body or resting on the body. We're going to let the arms rest for a minute. And let's bring the knees right over the hips. The legs are like at that cute 90-degree angle. And you're going to start to press out through the heels, waking up the legs. And you're going to have that little hug in of the belly button toward the spine. And we're going to start to lower that right heel down toward the earth. And we're just going to gently press that left foot up toward the sky. And then bring it back to the center. And then left heel taps down, right foot presses up. So we're just going to flow through this, following our breath, imagining, if you will, here we go, imagery, that you are ice skating. And if you're like, you know what, I'm a pro ice skater, feel free to straighten the legs all the way and get your pro ice skating moments on. But keep the low belly engaged. Make sure you're still breathing. One more time on each side. And let's hug the knees in toward the chest, rocking a little side to side. And maybe that side to side motion starts to become up and down motion. We're going to make our way to a comfortable seat. So, however makes sense in your body. Let's get there. Legs can be crossed, they can be out in front of you, whatever feels good. If you need to put a little blanket underneath your hips, definitely do that. But let's inhale the hands up toward the sky. And with our next exhale, we'll bring the left hand down onto the earth. The right hand reaches up and over, making your best candy cane shape with your body. So you can extra round the arm if you need to. Inhale up and over to the other side. Unless you're like one of those candy cane sticks that like point, then you can do that. You do you. You be whatever candy cane you want to be. Let's inhale back up and over to the other side again. Feel free to hold it here, or you can start to find a little bit of pulsing in the pose. Maybe you inhale up a little bit and exhale a little further down. We'll bring the hands back up and candy cane to the other side. Inhale the hands up and hands come to the heart. We're going to bring the hands just alongside the hips. Lean back a little bit, uncross, recross with the weird leg in front. Not saying you have weird legs, it's just the one that like feels weird, you know. And inhale, let's reach the hands up to the sky again. Exhale, hands to the heart. So we're going to bring the hands out like this. Words are failing me. So do what I'm doing. And imagine that you have one of those like beautiful, great big dresses that they wear in the Nutcracker, like during the party scene. And you're going to hold your dress and sway side to side. And if you've never worn a dress before, just imagine you're wearing the most flowy, wonderful bottoms that you can do this with. Rotating around the waist. And then we will stop on the left side. So wherever the hands feel comfortable to rest, let them rest there. Let the spine be nice and long. The crown of the head is reaching up toward the sky. And on your inhale, can you think lengthen? And on your exhale, think twist. We'll release the neck a little bit. So we'll turn the gaze over that back shoulder and over the front shoulder. Glamour shots in our nutcracker dresses or pants. And then back over the back shoulder. And one more time over that front shoulder. And we'll find our fancy twirly moment. And we'll come over to the other side when it feels good. And again, hands rest where it feels natural and good in the body. We're going to find our inhale to lengthen and our exhale to twist. And let's turn the gaze over the back shoulder and then over the front shoulder. Strike a pose. There's nothing to it. And then over that front shoulder. And let's, one last time for good measure, twirl our flowy things around, flowy clothes around. Inhale the hands up and hands to the heart. And we're going to come up and over to table pose, hands and knees. Knees are underneath the hips, shoulders, or wrists are underneath the shoulders, rooting deeply and meaningfully through the shins as well as the hands, the fingertips, the space in between the index finger and the thumb. With our next inhale, let's drop the belly, send the heart forward. If you want, you can become your best 8 maids of milking right here in cow pose. Just get ready, guys. It's going to be good. Exhale, round the spine to cat pose. And let's flow through this, finding our cow pose and then our cat pose. And as always, if you want to start moving your cat and cow a little faster to start getting your twerk on, then you're not one of the 9 ladies dancing. It's cool. You can be maids of milking or ladies dancing. And we'll bring the left hand over the right and let's start to sink the hips back toward the heels, finding this side opening child's pose for a couple breaths. Imagine that somebody has your left hip crease and is gently pulling it back, really lengthening out through the left side of the body. And we'll rise up. Right hand comes over left hand on the left hand side of the mat and sink the hips back, finding that side opening child's pose, but on the other side. And we'll come back to table pose, recommitting to that grounding moment in the hands and in the legs, the strong core, the long spine, the crown of the head, reaching forward. Feel free to stay here, or you can send the left foot toward the back of the room. Option to keep the toes on the earth, or you can float the toes off of the earth. Again, option to stay here, or with your next exhale, round the spine, tuck the chin, pull that knee in, and then send it back out. You can also do this with the toes on the earth. You'll just kind of drag the toes forward. 2 more times, following your breath. Stretching that left leg back, we'll put the toes down and we're going to come to the inner edge of the left foot. And we'll roll the heart open, stack the hips, finding a modified side plank. And we're going to come up onto our right fingertips, pulling the belly in, feeling really broad across the collarbones, and finding all sorts of core strength. We're going to start to hover those right fingertips off of the earth. And then we'll come all the way up, finding our gate pose. And from gate, here we'll bring the left hand alongside that left leg, finding our candy cane shape again. And we'll come back to that T shape. Cartwheel the hands down onto the earth, staying up on those back toes. Really nice, strong, active left side of the body. Think plank, because right foot's gonna sneak back, sneak attack plank. Staying here for a breath. Or more. And we'll bring the knees down, finding our table pose again. Let's flow through cat-cow a couple times. Finding that strong table back. And when you feel ready, sneak that right foot back. Option, keep the toes down, or you can float the toes. Option to stay here, or next exhale, pull everything in, and then send it out. 3 more times, follow your breath. Again, you can do this with the toes still on the earth. Reaching the right leg back, let's bring the toes down, roll to the inner edge of that right foot, and we're gonna open up, finding our modified side plank on the other side. Coming up onto the left fingertips. Pull the belly in. Use the core to start hovering the fingers off of the earth. And we'll find our way to gate pose. And then we'll find our candy cane gate. If you can. Oh, that would be so cute, right? Candy cane gate. Coming back to that T shape. Cartwheel the hands down onto the earth. Think plank in the right side body as you press that right heel back. And then left foot meets sneak attack plank, and breathe. Exhale the hips up and back. We'll pedal out our down dog here. Feel free to walk out the legs a little bit. Get real sassy with it and stick one hip out and then the other. And with our next inhale, we're going to roll forward as if we're coming to plank, but we're going to tap the knees down as if we're going to table pose, and then reach the hips up and back. So we'll call it a knee tapping table. How does that sound? Inhale, roll forward to knee tapping table. And then hips come up and back. 2 more times. This time as we roll forward, we are going to let the knees rest. No tapping, just resting. And we'll sink the hips back toward the heels, finding our child's pose. Knowing that child's pose can sometimes be the best gift you can give yourself. So please take it as much as you can and want to and need to. That's also a good one. Let's inhale, rise up. Tuck the hips up and back, finding down dog. We're going to start to walk the hands back toward the feet, finding our forward fold, the back of the mat. Inhale, let's find our halfway lift and pause, making sure that the heart is reaching forward, that you have that strong table back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, we'll rise up and reach up. And hands to heart. Inhale, let's reach. Exhale, let's fold. We're going to walk the hands forward, all the way to plank. And from plank, we'll drop the knees, finding a modified plank. Let's shine the heart forward and lower all the way down, elbows pointing back. Glue the tops of the feet down onto the earth. Power up the legs to shrug the shoulders up, back, and down. Finding a little baby cobra. And we'll lower back down. Pressing back up to downward facing dog. From down dog, we'll make our way forward, stepping right foot, then left foot. Finding our halfway lift. Hopefully you don't bump into your tree. Exhale, let's fold. Inhale, we'll rise up and reach up. Hands to heart. Inhale, we'll reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Ooh, into your tree. Exhale, fold. We're going to step back to plank, right foot then left foot. Holding it here for 2 breaths. Hips up and back, down dog. And we'll walk the hands back toward the feet. Forward fold at the back of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift and pause. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up and reach up. Hands to heart. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. We're going to walk the hands forward to plank. Knees up or down. Use your entire exhale to lower down. Your entire inhale to rise up. However it makes sense in the body, back to down dog. And from down dog, we're going to step forward, left foot then right foot. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up and reach up. And hands to the heart. Inhale, we'll reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, we're going to fold. Plant the hands. We'll step back to plank, left foot then right foot. And hang out for a couple breaths. Knees up or down. And hips up and back. Finding down dog. We're going to hang out here for a couple breaths. So if down dog is a good place for you to hang out, feel free to do that. Or you have table or child's pose. Just, you want to be in a pose where you can reconnect with your breath, reconnect with your intention. So find that space and hang out there for a couple breaths. And we'll meet back in down dog. So make your way there. And however makes sense in the body, right foot is going to step forward. We're going to stay up on the back toes. Belly pulls in, heart reaches forward. We'll reach the hands up to the sky. Rooting through that front big toe. Inhale, we'll straighten the leg. Exhale, as we lower the leg, we'll lower the left hand forward. Inhale, straighten, both hands go up. Exhale, as we bend, right hand reaches forward. So we're going to flow through this a couple times. You could say that you are one of the drummers drumming. A very slow and intentional drum. One more time for each arm. Hands reach up. We're going to bend into that front knee. We're going to bring the hands to the heart, finding a nice long line of energy as you reach the heart forward. Feel free to stay here, or you can start to find some flight. Maybe you're becoming a lord a leaping. And we'll bring the left knee up toward the chest. And we're going to sit on down to chair pose. So, as always, you are the master of your chair pose. You know, you can be like, I don't really want to sit on Santa's lap, so I'm going to keep it really high up. Or you can be like, me and the big man are super tight, and drop it on down. You get to choose what kind of chair pose, what kind of Santa's lap is happening. Hanging out here for another breath. Exhale, fold, straightening the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, bend the knees, plant the hands, stepping back, downward facing dog. Option to hang out in down dog, or you can move through that vinyasa, or you have table pose, child's pose, beer drinking pose. You do you. But we will be meeting back in down dog. And from our down dog, however makes sense in the body, left foot steps forward, staying up on those back toes, belly pulls in, heart reaches forward, rising up, finding our crescent pose. Inhale, we'll straighten both legs. Exhale, bend into that front knee, right hand reaches forward, and reach it up. Finding your drummer a drumming. If you want to like pretend you're holding drumsticks or mallets, boom, 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 boom. And one more time on each side. I got distracted by my boom booms that I had to start from fresh. Keeping that front leg straight, we're going to bring the hands to the heart. Then we'll bend into that front knee, sending the heart forward, finding that nice long line of energy. Feel free to stay here, or you can become a lord a leaping as you find some flight. And we'll bring the left knee up. And I'm pretty sure this is the last chair pose, the last Santa lap pose. Oh. Staying here for another breath. And exhale, let's fold, straightening the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, plant the hands, stepping back, downward facing dog. Again, option to move through the vinyasa. Option for any other movement, pose, rest, drink that you need. And we are actually going to be walking the hands back again. So if you want to just make your way to that forward fold at the back of the mat, get to it. Inhale, halfway lift and pausing. And exhale, we'll fold. Inhale, let's rise up and reach up. We're going to V out our arms as we reach the heart up toward the sky, imagining that you're like all of those birds in the 12 Days of Christmas. There's a lot. As I was playing this class, I'm like, there are a lot of birds in this song. There's not many bird poses that are all levels. So this is our bird pose. And we'll pull the belly in to stack the shoulders over the hips. Hands come to the heart. And we're actually going to root through Hold on, we're gonna root through the right foot. And we're going to sneak the left foot onto the standing leg, finding our tree pose. Hands can stay at the heart. You can grow your tree branches. Your choice on if you are Tannenbaum, if you're a Christmas tree, or if you have a partridge in your pear tree. Extra points if you can name your favorite partridge, like David Cassidy. And from our tree pose, we'll bring the hands to the heart. We'll bring the knee up toward the chest again. This is definitely not going to be graceful. We're going to take a giant abominable snowman step forward, finding our crescent pose. Maybe it's a couple big steps forward. Inhale, let's reach the hands up to the sky, straighten that front leg again. Exhale, bend into that front knee. Then we're going to open up warrior two, facing the right edge of the mat. I'm going to face you guys. Inhale, let's reach up to the sky, straighten that front leg. Exhale, warrior two. And let's reverse warrior. Coming back to warrior two and over to side angle. Back to warrior two and reverse. We're going to kind of dance through this, flow through this. Depending on where you're at in the playlist, maybe you shake it a little bit. Show us your best Christmas dance moves. And next time we come over to side angle, we're gonna hang out there. So feel free to stay here, or you can start to straighten that leg any amount, finding your triangle pose. So hand can be resting on the front thigh, down on the shin, or it can just be resting on the inside of the leg. And I really liked Mickey's last class when we were in triangle. She had us turn our palms toward the back, behind us. There we go. And then gently press back, imagining that you're pressing into a wall, and say hello as you open up your heart. And we'll bend into that front knee. And let's cartwheel the hands down onto the earth, stepping back to downward facing dog. Option to move through the vinyasa or to do whatever you need to do for the next handful of breaths. And then from down dog, we'll walk the hands back toward the feet, finding our forward fold. Inhaling to our halfway lift and pausing. Exhaling to our forward fold. Inhale, we're going to rise up and reach up. Rooting through the feet. We're going to put a little bend into the knees. I promise this isn't chair pose, just like bend to the knees pose. And as we start to actively root the feet down to straighten the legs, we'll power through the legs to open the heart, finding our V shape, finding all of the bird poses. And using the core to stack the shoulders over the hips, hands come to the heart. We're going to root through the left foot this time and finding any version of tree pose that makes sense to you. Maybe you have assisted tree pose, kickstand, or any position on the leg. Just try to avoid the knee and grow whatever branches you'd like. And if you do have a partridge in the pear tree, maybe you really challenge your balance and get like your Napoleon Dynamite bird hands on. Just gonna giggle about that one for the next year probably. And from our tree pose, let's bring the hands to the heart, and we'll bring the knee in toward the chest. Again, it's not going to be graceful. We're just going to find our abominable snowman, step forward to our crescent pose. Inhale the hands up to the sky, straighten that front leg. Exhale, let's bend into that front knee. And we'll open up warrior two, facing the left edge of the mat. Nice, strong, stable legs. Inhale, let's reach up to the sky, straighten that front leg. Exhale, warrior two. And let's reverse the warrior. Coming back to warrior two. And over to side angle. And back, warrior two. And just like last time, we're gonna dance through this a little bit, flowing, following our breath. And again, feel free to shake it out. Or to do that weird head bob thing I was just doing. I don't even know what that was. It's because I haven't been out dancing for so long. I've lost my moves. And next time we come over to to side angle, we're gonna hang out there. And we're gonna start to straighten that front leg with all sorts of intention as we reach the left hand up toward the sky. Again, finding a good placement for that bottom hand where you're not popping into that bottom knee, but keeping everything nice and active. Then we'll take the top hand, turn the palm behind you. Then imagine that you have a wall that you're pressing into. And breathe. For me, this is like wowzas. Spend most of my life in front of a computer. This is like getting all those tight spots. And we'll bend into that front knee. And let's reverse one more time. And we'll cartwheel the hands down onto the earth. Stepping back, downward facing dog. One last chance to move through the vinyasa. So knees up or down, lowering down. And shining the heart forward. And lowering down. Pressing back. Coming back to down dog. And we'll walk the hands to the feet and the feet to the hands. So you'll meet in a forward fold right in the middle of your mat. And we're going to heel toe the feet out about mat's width distance. And we'll start to bend the knees. And we'll sneak the forearms onto the thighs. So coming into our coach pose for all those reindeer games. There you go. And with our next exhale, let's round the spine, pressing the forearms into the thighs. Inhale, we'll send the heart forward. So flowing through this coach pose, cat-cow. Feel free to stay here, or you can start to drop it low. This is our low squat here is a geese laying. So there you go. There's one bird pose I got in there. Got our partridge and our geese laying. So whether you're in coach pose or if you're down in malasana, can you keep the spine nice and long? Keep the breath strong and intentional. And if crow pose is in your practice and it feels delightful to go there tonight, feel free to do that. There's another bird pose. We'll stay here for a couple more breaths. And it does not have to be graceful. We're gonna boop our way down. Feel free to add all the sound effects. We're gonna bring the legs out in front of us. Nice, strong, straight legs. If the hamstrings are real sassy and talking to you tonight, maybe you put a little blanket or pillow right underneath the legs to help alleviate some of that sassy hamstrings. We'll actively press out through the feet. And we're going to bring the arms up toward the sky. And we're going to find our inner nutcracker ballerina. We're going to come to fifth position in the arms, where you're basically just making a ring with the arms. Here's our 5 golden rings. Can you lift the heart up toward the sky? Keeping the legs nice and active. Imagine that you're pressing them in toward a wall. Staying here for another breath. And exhale. We'll fold forward. Try to keep the spine nice and long, leading with the heart. So I know it feels so good. It's like that guilty pleasure to just round in on yourself. We do that a lot throughout the day. So can you keep the heart leading forward? You can even, I'm going to turn to show. You can even grab the sides of your mat and use that kind of as leverage to pull the heart forward as you continue to actively press out through the feet. And feel the hip creases deepen with each breath. Hinging forward at the hips instead of at the waist. And we'll walk the hands. I'm going to turn to face you guys again. Walk the hands alongside the hips, staying up onto the fingertips. And let's press the heart up toward the sky. Feeling this nice broad opening across the heart, across the collarbones. It feels good in the neck. Maybe you turn the gaze upward slightly. In this moment of heart opening, can you really tap into your intention, allowing space for all the light and the brightness to come? And we'll bring the feet toward in, finding our kind of butterfly legs, our diamond shape of the legs. And we'll hold on to, I don't know why I keep facing away from you guys. I just need to look straight at you, right? We'll hold on to right above the ankles. And again, let's send the heart up toward the sky again. And as you do that, can you gently press the legs down into the hands? And if the neck is still feeling a little cranky, a little tight, maybe you bring the left shoulder, the left ear towards the left shoulder. And crown of the head back up. And right ear toward the right shoulder, pressing the left leg down into the hands. Coming back up. And we'll crawl the hands forward again. This one, I'll just let you get crazy with it. So if you want to continue to lead with the heart, feel free to do that. You can hold onto the mat again. Or if you're like, Seville, I just really want to round down, do it. Get to it. Do what feels good for you for these next few breaths. And we'll start to rise up. We'll bring the hands to the outside of the legs and use the strength of the arms to bring the knees toward each other. And we'll keep the feet planted on the earth. You should hopefully already be halfway on your mat. And we'll start to lower down. Nothing too crazy. We did a lot of plank, a lot of core things, but if you need more, like start to crunch it out, my friends, we'll just lay right on down. We'll keep the knees bent. We'll keep the feet planted down onto the earth. And we'll just take a moment here to breathe and to feel the spine as it's melting down toward the earth. And we'll start to bring the heels in a little closer toward the hips. We'll bring the arms alongside the body. If you want, you can find your best robot or T-Rex arms. I'm trying to think if there's a holiday creature that has these arms. If you can think of one, let me know. I can't right now. But let's start to press the heart up toward the sky, actively rooting into the upper arms. Maybe you stay here with this little heart puff, or maybe you start to root into the soles of the feet, tilting the pelvis, and maybe the hips come off of the earth, maybe the spine follows. And can you imagine that in between your knees, you have a beautiful glass of your favorite holiday beverage, and it's the last one on earth. You don't want to spill it. You don't want to drop it. So you're going to squeeze it tightly. And it's like not a breakable glass either. So you can squeeze pretty tight. It's fine. And let's lower down inch by inch by inch, imagining that you're imprinting the spine onto the mat. Taking a deep breath in here. And a long exhale. One more time, let's press the heart up toward the sky, rooting through the upper arms. Start to root through the soles of the feet and coming up into your bridge pose. And we'll lower down again, inch by inch. And we'll bring the knees in toward the chest. We'll rock a little side to side. And we'll bring both feet back down onto the earth. Just in case you were wondering, we're doing like all sorts of chill out moments tonight. That's another beautiful gift you can give yourself. So like, I highly recommend sticking with it. I know this is typically the time and practice that we all start to be like, oh, we have so much to do. We should probably get going, but don't cheat yourself out of it. Let's keep chilling. Let's press the right foot up toward the sky. We're going to rotate through the hip, turning the right toes out toward the right. And we'll cross the right ankle over that left leg. Option to stay here. Or you can start to find a little sway side to side. Or with your next exhale, you can bring the legs in toward the chest. Maybe you thread the needle and hug that left leg in. Maybe you press the left foot up toward the sky. As we start to slow everything down, can you start to drop into that really deep, intentional breath that you created at the beginning of your practice? And if the legs are lifted, let's bring the left foot down onto the earth. And right foot meets left. Left foot presses up toward the sky. We're going to turn the left toes toward the left, rotating from deep up in the hip. And then we'll cross the left ankle over the right leg. Taking a moment with feet on the ground or foot on the ground. Maybe sway a little side to side. Or maybe you start to hug the legs in. And recognizing without judgment that each side of the body is a little different. So maybe this side needs a little extra love. I know for me it does. And we'll bring the right foot back down onto the earth. Left foot meets right. And we'll bring the knees in toward the chest. Arms come out to a T or that cactus shape. And we'll lower the knees over to the right. And feel free to take a couple moments here, a couple breaths, a couple rounds of breath to wiggle around and get cozy here. So maybe you need to grab a couple blankets or pillows to help the legs rest down, or even that left shoulder and arm to rest down. But allow yourself to get nice and cozy here so the body can start to soften and melt into this pose. And even though with the winter solstice, you know, we tend to start looking ahead, looking toward the brighter and lighter things. But to kind of piggyback off of Mickey's intention for our class on Saturday, can you still remain in the present and also be open to the brighter and lighter things? We definitely don't want to wish away our moments, even our moments by ourselves. And so I think that, at least for me, is a little deeper into my intention of welcoming the rebirth of the sun. How can I welcome it without wishing away the next 4, 5, 6 months until we can wear sandals again? Correction, sandals without socks. There we go. And we'll bring the knees back to the center. Taking a breath here to let the low back, to the entire spine, rest on the earth. And the next breath lowers the knees over to the left. Again, taking the next couple rounds of breath to get set up with any extra props or different variation of the legs, so you can start to really settle in here. So you can soften and release. And we'll bring the knees back to the center. Maybe moving through any other poses or shapes that the body might be craving. And then we'll start to lower down into our final resting pose, our final Shavasana all together of 2020. Maybe do a couple extra snow angels before you settle down. And maybe you find that star on top of the tree pose. Let's start to deepen the breath, inviting movement back into the hands and the feet. Gently pressing your way up, taking your time. Coming to a comfortable seat. I'll bring the hands to the heart. Thank you for sharing your practice, energy, and spirit tonight, for practicing with us all throughout 2020. The light within me honors, loves, sees, respects, appreciates the light within you. Namaste.
Namaste.
And cheers.
Aren't you friendly?
You are very friendly. Thank you. Apparently, they wanted just a short cameo. Well, friends, thank you all so much from the bottom of my heart for practicing with me tonight, for practicing with us, not just the teachers, but the entire community. I know that obviously I don't have to tell you, it's been a year, but having this community, having your support, being able to feel the good vibes throughout our practice up and down the state of Oregon has, I know for me, has really sustained me and kept me going. So I can't thank you all enough for being part of my little yoga family. And I'm getting emotional, but I'm going to keep it together. Well, everyone, thank you so much. I'm glad that you guys love story time. Thank you, everyone, for Toy Soldier Arms. Toy Soldier. Thank you, Stephanie. All right. Well, however you celebrate, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Yule, Happy Kwanzaa. If you celebrate Hanukkah, I hope you had a beautiful one. Happy end of the year. And we'll see you back in 2021. And it's going to be amazing. Thank you guys so much.